Thank you, David. I've been a street pastor since it first began, and I'd like to tell you my story, my journey. It's been most extraordinary, and like most street pastors, it has enriched my faith, for which I am very grateful. My story begins quite some time ago, when the young people of Melbourne were given such a bad name through the press because they partied hard, they played hard, and there were often dire consequences for them. And I was thinking, the police are really struggling with this, and I have no idea what kind of contribution I could possibly make. Then Andrew Satterley arrived, and I just happened to be at the evening service at Scott's Church, and he gave a very eloquent description of what a street pastor was. And when he'd finished speaking and we were enjoying tea and coffee, I said to him, "Oh, it sounds so good, but I'm too old." He said, "What? Too old?" He said, "Let me tell you about a 90-year-old one-legged blind lady who's a street pastor." And I thought, oh, I'm not 90. Close, but not quite there yet. I wear glasses, so I'm not blind, and I've got 2 good legs mostly. So I thought, well, this is maybe where I'm being directed through the Spirit. So I joined up. I went to the training sessions, which were enlightening, and I thought, I think I can do this. And as a result of that, I've been out on the streets now for over 12 months, one Saturday evening a month, and it's like the church has disintegrated. There are no walls. There are no denominations. We work together as fellow Christians, bringing the love of Christ onto Swan Street. We share that with everyone, with the young people who are having a great time, with young people who have overindulged in whatever it is they've overindulged in, with particularly boisterous young males who look at us and say, "Well, what kind of pastor are you?" And I'm always tempted to say bolognese sauce, but and they actually stand and listen to this older woman who must remind them of somebody, because they're always, as a rule, most respectful when we speak to them. We have contact with the security people, who I always thought were different to me. Isn't that a dreadful thing to admit? But I honestly did, because again, they get bad press. They're only in the press when they've done something to damage somebody. And they have been a revelation. They are like you and I. They have a great concern for the young people and their safety. We've established really good relationships with them. We stand and we talk to them. They tell us what they think the night will be like. And generally they're right. They have a very clear understanding of what the night will be like. And last Saturday night, for example, they said, "Oh, this will all quieten down by 11:30, because there was football at the MCG. There was football, I think it was at Etihad as well. And by 11:30, guess what? Crowds are gone. They can really read what's happening on the street, so they're very, very useful. The pub and club owners have been most supportive of us, and the police. You cannot believe the police. They are doing a mighty job under such dreadful conditions. It can take 8 of them to hold down a young person who's taken ice, to put the handcuffs on them. And they are so terribly supportive. They're very, very concerned about what's happening to our young people. And I've and others on the team have been working in Richmond during the day along Victoria Street. And The police have admitted for 20 years they've got it wrong about how to deal with drugs and the impact drugs have on the community. So that's probably not telling you very much about my story, but all I can encourage people to do is open your hearts to this ministry, because you may think it doesn't make a difference, and I was one of those people. People tell me how Swan Street's changed of a Saturday night, and I think, changed? It doesn't feel any different to me. But we are told by the security people and the police and the pub and club owners that there's certainly been a change along Swan Street. So I ask you once again to open your hearts to this ministry. If you can be a prayer pastor, please cover us with prayer. It is one of the essential elements that we need. And I'll just share this with you because my son-in-law said to my daughter, I don't like the idea of your mother going out amongst all those young people. It's just dreadful. Look at the size of her. And my daughter turned round and said, are you going to tell her? Because I'm not. And as I explained to them, I'm covered by prayer and I don't have any fears, but then I don't look for danger either. So please, again, I ask you, open your hearts. And if you can be a prayer pastor or partner in any way that you see fit, we would most appreciate it. Thank you.